Well, here we are in Sioux City, Iowa.
In cold Sioux City, Iowa this morning.
Oh, man, it could not be for a more fantastic occasion.
This is absolutely true. It looks like we're already getting lined up on the track even for some MRDA men's champs. First game of the day. Nice and early for everybody out there, except
Absolutely.
for maybe the East Coast.
We've got 1 versus 8 on the track, as it should be. So the Deep Valley Belligerents versus Your Mom will get us started. It's like the referee is down on the track there, are prepping for the start. Players are already there. But who's on the roster here for Deep Valley?
Well, it looks like for Deep Valley, we're going to have number 13, Graves, number 16, Dr. Rotten, number 24, Alec Brawlwin, number 28, Downer, number 3, Culture Shock, number 33, Sloppy Joe, number 40, Izzy Serious, number 44, Bad LSD. I'm going to go ahead and stop since we're in the action.
We got Twinkle Toes jumping the apex on the first jam past the defense, and he is wrapping the corner half a track ahead. Your Mom holding back the opposing jammer. Twinkle Toes approaching for points. In the back of the pack, great lateral movement. Takes a hit, stays on his feet, picking up points, weaves by, and looks like he picked up 4 on that first one.
He did. That was a nice quick start to the bout there. Sorry for reading the roster there. Looks like we've already got some action in the penalty box as well.
Wow, that's a fun way to start off so early in the morning here. I think this is the earliest call I've ever done, but proud to be here on this momentous occasion. Deep Valley here for the first time, making their first trip to champs. As a matter of fact, I hadn't even heard of Deep Valley till about a month ago.
And we're into the second jam.
Frank Not-So-Hatra, the jammer for Your Mom.
And it's Downer jamming for Deep Valley. Frank Not-So-Hatra, though, quickly clearing that pack and taking lead jammer for Your Mom.
That is correct. 2-wall in front, holding back the Deep Valley jammer.
That's it. That's Nicholas Becker there doing that shoveling. But Deep Valley's jammer Downer able to get out and now eligible to score.
I've heard some great stuff about Downer. He is no downer on the track with some great moves. And Frank Not-So-Hatra will call it off as Downer approaches the pack in scoring position, letting as much time roll away as possible here early in the bout.
That is a good plan. It looks like we're already at 8 for Your Mom, 0 for Deep Valley, and 27:58 remaining on the big clock on the wall. We're already lined back up. Number 16, Dr. Rotten up on the jam line for Deep Valley, and number 4, Lily Pad up on the jam line for Your Mom.
Lily Pad, such an exceptional jammer. Just incredible, fun to watch. Pushing the back of that Deep Valley wall. And resetting the jammer for Deep Valley and the jammer for Your Mom.
And it's going to be a penalty for Deep Valley. It's going to be Mr. Dick headed off to the penalty box.
Lily Pad breaking free with lead jammer.
Dr. Rotten still stuck in the pack there, having some resistance from B-Stang. Now he's up closer to breaking his way free as Lily Pad makes his way through, puts all 5 on the board for Your Mom.
Wow, and a big hit in there by one of the Your Mom blockers. Laying it down. Lily Pad, meanwhile, scoring, weaving through the pack, and calling it off. So Deep Valley came here to play, hitting hard on the track here. This is obviously going to be a big challenge for them here in the first round, coming in an 8 seed.
That's it, coming up against number 1, and it shows. I mean, they're still stuck at 0, but they're definitely not giving up the fight. You saw Dr. Rotten out there continuing to play the game, skate the game, and tried to break free of that pack. It's just that wall from Your Mom was holding him back. Let's see if Culture Shock, who's out there on the line number 3 in the black and red, can do better for Deep Valley this time.
And once again, Twinkle Toes quickly out of the pack. Your Mom controlling the pack speed, going slow now. Setting it up for Twinkle Toes. He is through for points already in this jam. Meanwhile,
Culture Shock still taking a beating in the pack there and continuing to be recycled. Still looking for a way through that pack.
Oh, and Twinkle Toes gets pushed out of bounds. Has to recycle back, so good defense there by number 44, Bad LSD. He told me before the bout started, he said, that's the only name you need to know.
That jam's going to come to an end. Deep Valley still going to be sitting at 0. Culture Shock putting up a good fight in the pack there, just unable to get past that last couple blockers up at the front there. Luke Jam blocker, number 5 from Your Mom, doing a good job holding him in place. Let's see if number 28, Downer, can make it out of the pack this time through that Your Mom wall.
And Frank Not-So-Hatra again going to be jamming for Your Mom, but we have a timeout on the track.
Looks like it's going to be an official timeout.
So this is a tough position to come in for Deep Valley, obviously, of course. But what a great learning experience.
Absolutely.
You know? Excellent to come up against the number 1 team in the world, the number 1 seed in this tournament. And looking ahead to the tournament, oh my goodness, the matchups are fantastic. You know, the table is set for some incredible championship.
And it's going to be a full day of games, too, with 6 games happening today. Definitely want to stick around close to your TV or your mobile device and see what's happening out here on the track as we get this tournament going. Deep Valley sitting at 0 still with just about 5 minutes off the clock. Your Mom putting up 28 points already, but Deep Valley definitely looking to come back and make a difference here. You can kind of see the teams all kind of huddled up out there. Your Mom doing some strategy on the track, Deep Valley doing some talk off on the side.
Yeah, and coming up the next bout of the day should be a good one. That is the Gatekeepers versus Puget Sound, and I'm excited to see that one. So the Your Mom roster, which we hadn't got to earlier, number 12, Nick Becker, 1369, Dirty Larry, number 3, Peter Pan, 3158, Beastang, 33, Rodster, the Rodster even, 39, Cleveland Stever, number 4, Lily Pad, number 5, Luke Jamblocker, 56, Suicide Snow Cone, number 6, Sugar Boots, 69, Twinkle Toes, number 7, Seahorses Forever, number 88, Just Mike. That's a good lineup.
Okay, it looks like we've actually had play suspended. There is a bleeding skater. So that's what the official timeout is about. We're getting that person taken care of, and we don't want people bleeding while they're skating out there. So definitely good eye by the refs to make sure that we're keeping all our skaters safe. So we'll get back to the action as soon as that skater is taken care of. I'll give you the rest of the roster for Deep Valley while we're waiting for them to set back up, too. We stopped with Bad LSD, number 44. Got Josh Darnett, number 619, number 69, Mr. Dick, number 707, JB, the rock star, number 76, Chemtrail, and number 98, Boy Band. That's the rest of the roster for Deep Valley. Looks like we're about to get back into the action.
Oh, boy.
Same lineup we had before the official timeout was called. Number 28, Downer, up on the jam line for Deep Valley. Number 9, Frank Not-So-Hatra for Your Mom.
Well, speaking of blood, you know, I mean, the blood, sweat, and tears that these guys put on the track in practice is extraordinary. You really got to give it up for the MRDA players. Just incredible. I go to the Cowtown Butchers practices, and those guys, they really put it all out there, really working hard to get better every day. And you can see it. The guys that put in the most time at practice, the guys that work the hardest, they're the ones that ascend to a higher level and give us amazing action like we're seeing today.
That's it. And this year, the tournament is bigger. I expect as the years pass, this tournament's going to continue to grow. And as we see more and more teams, climb into this bracket. And it looks like we're back into the action. Frank Not-So-Hatra quickly into the front of the pack, looking to get out of there. And he breaks it. He's out. Lead jammer goes to Your Mom.
And Downer having a tough time in the pack with the blockers for Your Mom. But his wall is doing a good job right now trying to create space for him. One more to pass in the front. He is through, but, taking a trip to the penalty box. Meanwhile, Frank Not-So-Hatra scoring 5 big points for Your Mom.
That's it. Your mom going to take advantage of this and put as many points on the board as they can while there is no jammer for Deep Valley. And Deep Valley also down a blocker currently, so a little bit of a pack advantage to your mom.
And good offensive blocking out there by Sugar Boots, opening up a hole for Frank.
You can't miss Sugar Boots out there on the track.
Don't need to see his number. He is a giant of a man. Another 5 for Frank Natsuhatra. This guy goes around the track quick. He doesn't even look like he's skating fast. And there he is, Pow in the front. Your mom seems very relaxed on the track.
Absolutely. They're already ready to play at 8:30 in the morning here in Sioux City, Iowa.
Right. Definitely.
Frank's going to go ahead and signal to call off that jam to get a power start. He saw the jammer for Deep Valley stand up in the penalty box. Going to go ahead and call it off so they can get that advantage of attempting to get that lead jam before the other jammer comes back. So we're going to put out number 4, Lily Pad, for your mom. Downer's going to come out of the penalty box here shortly after the jam. So let's see if Lily Pad can grab that lead jammer before he does.
Well, I see down here on the 4 we've got Seahorses Forever blocking for your mom. This guy is extraordinary. You watch him block. Take a look at some of that video from last year's MRDA championships, and he is phenomenal. Used to have some foul trouble, got kind of a bad rap when he first got into the MRDA for that, but he played such a clean game, or clean games all throughout the whole tournament, managed to stay in the games, and his movements are fluid on the track. He's a great guy to watch if you're learning and you want to learn some of those advanced blocking skills.
Well, and just overall, a great team to watch, your mom. I mean, with a 6-0 season and decent defeats across the board. Only 2 close games during their season, and that was the Gatekeepers and the Shock Exchange. Your mom definitely comes in, puts on a good game, and it's exciting roller derby to watch.
It definitely is. So have Lily Pad on the jammer line. Downer for Deep Valley will be standing in the box, ready to jump out on the track. Lily Pad pushing the front wall of Deep Valley, trying to sneak through. Manages to stay on those toe stops and stay in bounds. Pushes the wall forward in textbook style. Meanwhile, Downer coming out of the box.
That is one long pack as Lily Pad coming back into the pack there. It's all bridged out as they're trying to hold Downer to the back of the pack, and Lily Pad not letting him get out the front. Another 5 points by Lily Pad.
Lily Pad coming up again on some points. Good wall set for Deep Valley. Lily Pad looking for an angle. Doesn't do too much pushing. He just kind of finds an angle here, pushes a little bit and back and forth in different angles, gets pushed to the inside, and calls it off on this jam.
Lily Pad likes to use the footwork to get through the pack, faking out, doing that juking around and working his way around the skaters. That time he's going to go ahead and give it a call off. Let's reset and start over again. This time it's going to be number 69 versus number 69. So it's Twinkle Toes versus Mr. Dick on the track.
How appropriate.
So that you know, black and red is
or inappropriate.
Deep Valley. Exactly. Black and red, Deep Valley. Black and white, your mom, if you're just joining us.
These derby guys, they like to have fun with their names, It's a good time, but we've got Twinkle Toes bursting through the pack and also coming through the pack.
Mr. Dick. That's it, yes. Your Deep Valley finally getting a jammer out of the pack there after quite a stretch with no jammer coming out. Let's see if Mr. Dick can make it to the pack and put some points on the board.
Wow. Lily Pad with just phenomenal moves going through the pack. Weaving and bobbing, head fake. So much like basketball here, the way he uses the head fake to kind of juke out the person in front of him. Very, very good with that head fake.
You'll actually see that a lot with with all the jammers for your mom. And having called for your mom recently, I know that the majority of that team can jam. So they change up their jam line considerably more than most teams that you'll see in roller derby.
That is true, and I think that's a really good way to go. If everyone on the track can block and jam, they understand each other's positions, they can work well together, you've got interchangeable lineups, and it's really just a good way to go. Frank Natsuhatra right now looking for some space, weaving through this Deep Valley wall, making it look like no problem. Always makes it look easy, so relaxed on the track.
He does, and Culture Shock there coming off the line, doing some jammer-on-jammer defense, holding back Frank Natsuhatra for a little bit, still looking to make his way out of the pack, gets recycled as Frank Natsuhatra comes back into the pack for his first scoring pass.
Now Frank trapped behind the 3-wall. Deep Valley up front. Maybe looks for some help. Like that, he looked back at one of his blockers, almost like the signal. Go, get him. And Frank Natsuhatra gets that help, weaves through the front. Got to love the subtlety of some of this stuff, the communication between the players on the track.
That's it. It's almost as if their minds were linked together and they could telepathically speak to each other. Culture Shock finds his way out of the pack for Deep Valley, looking to sneak up, maybe put some points on the board. You see Frank signal to call off the jam. The jam gets called. No points to Deep Valley. Nice try by Culture Shock there, though.
Well, you know, you get the feeling that your mom would prefer that Deep Valley not score at all.
I think your mom would prefer that Deep Valley not score during this bout. Let's see what happens, though. Deep Valley not giving up the fight. You see him keep coming out there and just fighting against those walls. Number 28, Downer, we've seen him up here a couple times. Not going to give up until he breaks that pack. Let's see what happens during this time. We still got 19:54 left in this period for Deep Valley to make the difference on the scoreboard there.
All right, so Downer and Lily Pad jamming right now. Of course, your mom in white and Deep Valley in black. Both jammers entrenched in the pack right now. Downer getting pushed to the outside, cycling in back behind Dirty Larry. There goes Lily Pad, lead jammer in turn 3. Downer is out as well. He's a half a track behind. You got to think Lily Pad's going to get up in here, maybe get some hip action on the opposing players and call it off before Downer can get in there and score one.
And the Dirty Larry with a beautiful hit on Downer, taking him to the outside there in turn number 2 during that last jam. That's one gentleman you got to watch when he's out on the track. He will definitely deliver a big hit every time.
Yeah, and absolutely, that guy, you get the feeling that's what he intended to do, and what he intends to do on every play is take the jammer, put him out of bounds, and cycle him backwards. It's definitely his MO.
Absolutely. Look, it's double 69 again. It's the Twinkle Toes versus Mr. Dick. Mr. Dick breaking the pack. First time for lead jammer for DBV.
Oh, broke the pack first, but then getting beat on the track in a race. Whoa, it's a battle in turn 2. Just amazing. Look at these two.
He's not called Mr. Dick for no reason. He definitely wants to put some points on the board. He is not going to give it up to Twinkle Toes.
Just amazing. You got to think he'd get some points on the board. He's willing to sacrifice a couple here and get into the pack and try and score some points. He calls it off. Looks like he may have passed one.
He did give up 3 points to your mom, but he does finally put Deep Valley on the board. It's quite an accomplishment at this point in the game. We're already, 12 minutes in. Oh, it doesn't look like any points are being awarded.
I guess he tried to get that hip around and got pushed to the inside, didn't pick it up, but a valiant effort.
Beautiful try there, beautifully done. 17:50 remaining on the clock. We're going to knock him down, set him back up. Number 3, Culture Shock, going to come and see if he can put those first points on the board for Deep Valley.
And we'll see Frank Natsuhatra. Well, your mom again. Oh, and a lead jammer for Deep Valley.
That's it. Culture Shock coming out, taking lead jammer. Frank Natsuhatra breaking the pack and chasing him down. Frank, a very fast skater here. Let's see if he can catch Culture Shock.
Oh, and your mom has the box stacked up right here. All he's got to do is make it by that front blocker. He's going to pick up a pack of points.
And no points for your mom during that time. He did signal to call off that jam in time. I was concerned. Frank coming up on the back of the pack there. Luckily, that fourth whistle happened for him before. So Culture Shock putting the first 4 points on the board for DBV and holding your mom to 0 during that jam.
And the crowd here with a big cheer, of course, for the underdogs in this matchup. Your mom had them blank 70-0, but not hanging their heads down, lifting up those spirits. Let's get it.
And now it's number 28. Downer up on the track jamming for Deep Valley. He's going to look to see if he can get lead jammer too.
Your mom with a reduced pack out here of only 2.
That's it. Peter Pan coming out of the pack, taking lead jammer for your mom. Downer, though, making his way out. Going to look to get around Peter Pan. Peter Pan going to do some jammer defense.
Oh, yeah. Going to try to empty that box out. Take some time here. Peter Pan so good one-on-one on defense. Excellent strategy by your mom. We saw this strategy late in the Gatekeepers game where they're out on the track in a position to score, and with time running out against the Gatekeepers in the championship game, they cleared the box out because they wanted all their players on the track for that final jam.
That's it, and you got to have your blockers out there to be effective, so it's a good idea if you got the opportunity to let your blockers get out of that box.
And Peter Pan getting knocked down to the inside. He's going to go ahead and call it off, but Deep Valley did get into the pack. We'll see if they picked up any points. No, doesn't look like they did.
Downer, though, putting up a good fight, running into the pack just as those whistles are blowing, looking to put some points on the board. Unfortunately, didn't happen for him. 15 minutes, 30 seconds left for them to put some more. We're going to have the same matchup again. I think the coaches just like putting the 69s against each other here. It's going to be Twinkle Toes versus Mr. Dick for the next jam.
Very good, very good. And your mom able to clear out the box here. We have one standing for your mom, but
Mr. Dick to the inside with a nice little flip around that inside blocker. Gets lead jammer, but ends up getting sucked back into the pack because he takes a hit to the infield.
Oh, man, that step to the inside, so difficult. Wow, big spinning move. Fantastic. Meanwhile, your mom with jammer to the box, Twinkle Toes. But Mr. Dick, what incredible moves there. Had that great spin move and then got hit super hard, and the action continues at the front wall. This guy has got some chops, pushing the front wall. They're bridging your mom, stretched out. Sugar Boots is headed to the penalty box.
I think he got an out of play there. They got a little too far from the pack. Lead jammer going to Mr. Dick. And now the fight begins again. We got a little bit of a stopped pack in turn number 3. Your mom going to stretch out that pack. Jammer Star falls to the ground. Mr. Dick's got to stop and pick it back up. He's got it. It's back on.
Wow.
That's going to put 4 on the board for Deep Valley. Deep Valley going to look to take a good advantage of this power jam.
Oh,
Mr.
wow.
Dick riding the inside line, going to get a cutting the track penalty. That's going to send him off. So we're going to have Twinkle Toes join us again here shortly, and we're going to go power jam your mom.
Twinkle Toes already standing in the box down there. We'll see if he's released before. Yeah, so he'll serve a full minute in the box because there goes Twinkle Toes out on the track before he sat down.
Pack stretching out real wide. They're almost all the way back into turn number 2 as Twinkle Toes rejoins us on the track.
I got to say, Deep Valley belligerents know how to play this game. They may not be up there on the level with your mom, but they are certainly putting up a fight, and they know how to play.
Twinkle Toes at the front of the pack, looking to break his way out, getting shoveled, and that's going to give the time for some more of Deep Valley's blockers to get in front there, but he's going to clear the pack and now eligible to score. No lead jammer going to be happening this time, so we're going to go for the full length of the jam, which just ended.
Wowza. Well, we've seen some exciting action in these last several jams. Deep Valley belligerent, so you got to think if they'd been playing this way the whole game, the score wouldn't be 70-8.
But perhaps that's it. Maybe they just needed that little bit of warm-up time. Let's see as we keep going. We've still got plenty of time during this half of the bout, and then we got a whole nother half to go. Let's see what kind of difference they can make. We're going to line up number 3, Peter Pan, on the jam line, and it is going to be a power jam still for your mom. As the whistle blows, your mom's blockers over the jam line going backwards there so they can keep the pack still. There's lead jammer for Peter Pan.
And Peter Pan coming up on the back of the pack. As always, great lateral movement. He is able to penetrate the pack for your mom. Picking up 5 more, and they'll reset.
A good jammer awareness there by Peter Pan. He came around. He was like, I'm going to put some points on the board. He noticed Mr. Dick stand up in the penalty box. He's going to go ahead and call off that jam so they can reset.
You know, Deep Valley's had some pretty good showings this year. They played some tough teams. Of note, they played the Gatekeepers, scored 113 on the Gatekeepers. Of course, the Gatekeepers scored 267 in that bout. But still, for a team just getting going, looking pretty good on paper. Right now, Frank's Not So Hatra able to weave around the front 3 wall of the belligerents.
Mr. Dick back on the track, going to play a little bit of jammer defense as Frank Not So Hatra comes up on the back of the pack.
And Frank able to stay inside the line. Now trying to stretch out that pack.
Deep Valley showing a little bit a little bit more blocker awareness here as they hold up Frank Not So Hatra now. Before, Frank was seeming to just be able to fly through that pack, so Deep Valley's blockers really watching that jammer, hoping that their jammer can get through. Frank, though, makes his way through, puts all 5 on the board.
And Seahorses and company doing some great waterfalling on Mr. Dick, pushing him to the outside over and over again, but he is able to get through the pack. And Frank Not So Hatra will call it off before he can get in and score points.
If you were watching Frank, he got hit to the outside, skating along the outside, coming back into the pack. He saw Mr. Dick approaching the pack. You could see his hands up in the air. You knew he was going to call it. It was just he was going to let some seconds fall off the clock before calling off that jam.
Yeah, your mom trying to get through this one, trying to move on without injuries, play a smooth game. So on the line for your mom, we have Lily Pad.
And that's going to be Culture Shock. It's number 3, number 4.
Lily Pad sees a hole on the inside, takes that jump, is through. Lead jammer, your mom.
He is. I believe that's where the name comes from. Jumping like a frog from lily pad to lily pad.
Exactly.
Definitely great footwork there. Culture Shock finds his way out of the pack and is eligible to score.
So Lily Pad will call it off as he comes through with another 4 for your mom. So Deep Valley this year playing Puget Sound fairly recently, and that score was Puget Sound 187, Deep Valley Belligerents 147, so a 40-point difference with Puget Sound. That's pretty respectable. Twinkle Toes on the line for your mom.
And that's going to be Downer, number 28 on the line for Deep Valley. Jam is on. Downer looking to just squish through his wall, hoping the wall can hold up Twinkle Toes, but Twinkle Toes, with a big hit to the outside, down and recycled.
Nice spin move, but is he serious, knocking him down and outside?
It looks like we're going to get a cutting the track penalty on Downer, though it's going to make this a power jam for Twinkle Toes, who is going to grab lead jammer right now.
What a downer for Deep Valley as Twinkle Toes in scoring position is dangerous. But your mom continuing to lose players to the box, having a little bit of foul trouble here in this one. Hopefully they'll get it out of the way before some of the bigger bouts come up. Not that I'm giving it away to your mom yet.
Twinkle Toes comes back into the back, takes it to the infield. He takes a look at the pack and it does some evaluation. He's going to go ahead and call this one off and reset.
So 94 for your mom, 9 for Deep Valley Belligerents. Deep Valley Belligerents in the black and red. Your mom in the white and black and red.
We've got about 8:20 remaining in this period. We got a whole second half coming up. Looks like number 9, Frank Natsuhatra, ready to go on the jam line. Your mom with just 1 blocker on the track. Deep Valley with all 4. So Deep Valley with the pack advantage here. Can it help them against Frank Natsuhatra? Frank able to stretch that pack out, though. Takes lead jammer real quick for your mom.
Man, he's got a characteristic style as he moves through that pack, kind of hitting and then taking a step, just getting him one step forward, and then jumping through on him, stretching him out. Also an excellent person to watch for textbook jamming technique like that one, the little fake to the outside, fake to the inside, and he's through again. Frank Natsuhatra.
Deep Valley losing a blocker. Your mom picking up a blocker, so it's 3-on-2 in the pack as Frank comes back in. And I see Downer coming back from the box. The pack stretching out there to hold him back as far as they can.
Your mom's got to be a little concerned about all these trips to the box they're seeing here in this bout. Downer through on his initial pass. Meanwhile, Frank looking to pick up a few more. Is able to get through and calls it off. Did Downer get in there and get any? Do not think so, but we did get another 4 for Frank Natsuhatra.
Alrighty, hey out there in Derbyland, I know you've been watching us for a while, or maybe you're just joining us. If you have comments or questions, send us a message on Twitter. That's going to be #TalkToMRDA. You can join in the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Great stuff, great stuff. Be nice, it is early in the morning here. Culture Shock, number 3 for Deep Valley, jamming. But Lily Pad once again able to hop, skip, and jump his way through the pack. Lead jammer and in scoring position.
Deep Valley losing another blocker. That's going to put them down to 2 in the pack. Lily Pad through, puts all 5 on the board.
And your mom with a full contingent of blockers for the first time in a while.
Culture Shock number 3 up against number 3 for your mom, Peter Pan. Takes a hit to the infield and gets recycled. He is not going to give up the fight, though, right back on the track.
You got to wonder if he's having a little culture shock out here with these your mom blockers. It's a little bit different in Iowa than California, right?
Oh, yeah. It's colder, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's cold in here. Lily pad getting pushed to the outside will call it off after several attempts.
That's it. JB the Rockstar with a nice hit there on the lily pad, and lily pad looks at the pack and says, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm done.
And the Deep Valley belligerents out here that obviously know how to skate, doing a good job out here against your mom on the track. If they play a little bit tighter as a pack, you got to think that'd do them good. Your mom is having a fairly easy time, the Jammers, breaking up the packs, juking them, getting them to separate and getting that distance between them. So holding those packs just a little bit tighter together might do them some good. They might make some second half adjustments. But meanwhile, twinkle toeing down the inside line in turn 1 is your lead Jammer.
That was a beautiful little hop, skip, and a jump as he went through the inside line on that last pass.
True to his name.
Downer clearing the pack and eligible to score.
And Twinkle Toes with a fancy little apex jump there in turn 4. Good stuff by your mom. Fun to watch. Despite the score here, we're seeing a good battle, individual battles between people on the track. Great to see Deep Valley here in the tournament. They've got to be really, really excited. And your mom, always, always exciting to watch.
That's it. It looks like Deep Valley doing a little change up to their jammer rotation here. Number 98, Boy Band, going to take the jam line for his first jam of this game. He's going to face off against Frank Not-So-Hatra. There's the whistle.
So that's quite a contrast there. You've got the Boy Band and Frank Not-So-Hatra. Quite contrasting styles there as well. Both jammers in the pack right now. Boy Band looking for the front. Oh, wait a minute. He's being sent to the box.
I believe that's a low block he's being called on. That's going to make this a power jam for Frank Not-So-Hatra. So
it looks like he's content to just take his time and find his space. Is through for lead jammer and in scoring position.
And right into that wall of Deep Valley belligerents, and there he goes. Takes to the inside, fakes a little bit to the middle, and then back to the inside and takes the outside line.
Amazingly relaxed out there. Just looks like he's skating at the rink back home, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's through the line, and a big hit takes him down, but so does the blocker, so he's able to get right back in bounds and run without getting the cut track.
That's it. And Frank Not-So-Hatra out there says he's going to do it my way. Take his time, get back into the pack. He's going to call off that one. He sees the jammer for Deep Valley stand up in the box. He's going to give a power start to your mom with 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on the board.
Well, despite the early morning call here, I am having a good time. Fantastic that this is being streamed on WFTDA.tv. I'd like to thank them and everyone involved, all the production crew. Thank you guys so much for being here and setting this up. An incredible staff here in Sioux City.
Absolutely.
Also, a big thanks to the Sioux City teams for setting this up. But back to the action on the track. So B-Stang for your mom and Boy Band. B-Stang,
that's it. Boy Band coming out of the penalty box there, able to get through the pack, taking the lead jammer call, hits B-Stang to the outfield and backs himself up.
Wow, B-Stang getting the business on the front wall from one of the Deep Valley blockers. But right now he's trying to stretch it out. Strong blocker and jammer is B-Stang and pushing. Oh, tough battle. What a fight out front for B-Stang. Able to pick up 5 points. Boy Band, with the forced cut track, must have stepped out when he did that little spin outside on turn 3. So B-Stang on a power jam for your mom. Again, just using muscle and might. That's a little bit different than we're used to seeing with the Your Mom jammers.
This is true. B-Stang is definitely a switch up from the jammers that we've seen before. He doesn't depend so much on the fancy footwork. He's got it, but he's definitely able to just blast his way through a wall.
Right. He had a nice spin move there right as we were talking about it. Of course, he's going to do a spin move as we're saying he blasts, but there he goes again. Deep Valley's wall of 4 in the front. Your Mom with only 2 blockers, but B-Stang able to create his own blocks. B-Stang continuing. Oh, B-Stang sent to the penalty box.
That's going to be a forearm call there. That's going to turn this into a power jam for Deep Valley.
Only 20 seconds remain in this jam, though.
And there can be no, in the period.
Oh, in the, yeah.
Yeah, the jam is actually going to come to an end. 20 seconds remain in the period. Looks like Boy Band picking up a cut call right as the whistle blows. That's why you kind of heard the audience there with their groan. Looks like...
he didn't seem to think he stepped out either. The big head shake.
Yeah, it looks like we're going into an official review, or official timeout here. And...
1 second remaining in this period.
Your Mom calling time... Your Mom with an official review is what it is. Now, if you watch the scoreboard, you can see the little blinking parallelograms at the bottom. The big one blinking on the Your Mom side, that indicates that they're using their official review, and of course it tells us at the bottom that it's a review. So.
Oh, great information there.
Yeah, initially it was a timeout, then it became an official review, so that's why you saw the blinking things at the bottom changing up there for a while. So during this official review, I want to say thank you very much to Double H, who says we're rocking it. Rock is Ron.
Oh, fantastic.
She's out there in the Twitterverse. Thank you for your comment, Double H. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, you have comments or questions, you can send us a message on Twitter at #TalkToMRDA.
Good stuff. Yes, and then also a big thanks to all of the AFTDA people. That is the Association of Flat Track Derby Announcers who are coordinating this tournament, and big thanks to our tournament head announcer, Hammer, Star Spangled Hammer, sitting over here on producing this first bout of the day. I believe the Hammer will also be calling the next bout, the Gatekeepers versus Puget Sound. That is going to be a great bout. I'll be in the stands watching that one and all the action coming up. The third bout of the day, I'll be back on call for that one, and that is the New York Shock Exchange versus Portland.
Definitely going to be a day full of excellent derby. If you've kept up with any of the teams that are playing in this tournament, you know that you're looking forward to a day full of awesome derby.
Really, and doing some research on all these teams, they're all playing well coming in. There's no one who's having a down streak right now. Really, we're seeing a lot of great derby from all of the teams, and I'd say most of them here have a shot at that championship.
Absolutely.
You know, the field is wide open. Of course, we've got some, dominant teams here, the top seeds, obviously, Your Mom and Gatekeepers. It looks like we're heading back to the action on the floor.
That's right. No jammer on the track currently because they're in the box. They did award that cut. So we got to wait for Your Mom's jammer's time to expire because it was a jammer in the box, then another jammer in the box, then another jammer in the box. So he's got to serve as much time as the previous jammer did, and then the other jammer has to serve a minute. So we're waiting for that to expire. While that happens, the box will empty out. The pack will just kind of, stand there, I guess. I mean, there's no real reason for them to roll forward.
One of those circumstances.
It'll happen eventually. It looks like all the blockers will be back on the track before the jammers. I am seeing the last of the Deep Valley blockers standing in the box. It looks like B-Stang is now standing in the box. We hardly ever see a jammerless jam, but here it is. With that 1 second gone off the clock, that's very likely going to be the last jam of this half. B-Stang coming back into the pack, looking to clear his way through. Let's see what happens at the front of the pack.
Again, powering forward that shoulder like a linebacker. He is through, picking up points. Nope, lead jammer. Now picking up points. Again, pushing hard with the shoulder. Got to think this guy ran into some of those sleds in high school or something, using that classic football grinding style.
He's going to go through and call off the jam.
Yeah, he is going to call off the jam there, and that'll do it for the first half. And, the score, does not tell the tale of how hard Deep Valley has fought.
It doesn't. I mean, Deep Valley definitely putting up a good fight out there on the track. coming in, putting on some points on the board. I mean, it didn't look at first like they were going to be breaking that pack and putting some points. They put some points, got their confidence up. You're seeing a much better game happen here, even though there's a 150-point spread.
And I think that's one of the keys, definitely showing some confidence as they got used to playing this style of play of your mom. You know, I know they have not matched up before, so the two of them, you know, and it's great fun to watch.
It's very exciting, especially this early in the morning. It's definitely helping me to wake up. So we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come right back with all this wonderful Derby coverage in about 14 minutes.
Fantastic. So we're back live on WFTDA.tv.
That's it, second half of the first game of the morning. It's going to be Your Mom Men's Roller Derby versus Deep Valley Belligerents.
And a fun matchup for a morning matchup here. It is a 1 versus an 8, so we're getting somewhat what we expected.
Exactly, and honestly, the gameplay has been more interesting than the score might speak to. I could see some teams out there getting warmed up for the next game. Who do we got up next there, Ron?
Oh, up next we've got the Gatekeepers versus Puget Sound. That is going to be a good one. The Gatekeepers, so much fun to watch, an intense, exciting team. You know, and we're seeing some things here that might be foretelling of later in the tournament. You know, I am concerned with your moms, and I'm sure they are too, the trips to the box. So they're playing a team in Deep Valley, an 8 seed, without a lot of an experience, and yet they're hitting the box a ton.
They're giving up more jammer penalties than I'm used to seeing from them, and more blocker penalties as well. And this early in the tournament, maybe something that's detrimental to. Maybe they're just getting all their penalties out of the way now. While they can afford it.
Yeah, I was just down on the floor, and that's what they said. They said, we're getting this out of the way, we're getting it taken care of right now, and we're going to clean it up for later. But you got to think, if they have this kind of problem with penalties tomorrow morning against a higher seed, it could spell some trouble for them.
Absolutely. If you know their record, they came up against the Gatekeepers and the Shock Exchange earlier this year, and the scores were considerably closer than what you're seeing here now. And those matchups are likely going to happen later in this tournament as well. So that is a possibility that if they continue to give up penalties like they've been doing in this bout, that could make a difference later on in the tournament for them.
Right, and your mom and the Gatekeepers, always a close one. Of course, very close in last year's championship. That one could have gone either way. Came down to the last jam and a stunning finish. Absolutely incredible. Early this year, much earlier this year, your mom and the Gatekeepers played, and your mom won 157 to 134 over the Gatekeepers. And you know, that was in Des Moines, of course, with Gatekeepers traveling. But that bout, you know, if it comes down to that one for the championship again, I'm not saying it will, but if it does, that one will be just an amazing game, as they all will be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this one in and of itself, being this early in the morning and stuff, everybody's still trying to wake up. This one's been a pretty awesome game to watch and stuff too. You saw Deep Valley early on not breaking the pack at all, having a struggle, but then finally finding that momentum, getting through the pack, taking a lead jammer, putting some points on the board. You saw them come together a little better as a team. So I think they're out there learning as they fight against this team what they need to do to play better on the track against your mom. So.
Yeah, a great learning experience, and you really did see some of those individual matchups. They started to get control of some of the blockers situations going on, figuring out how to open up some holes for their jammers, and their jammers gaining confidence and moving forward despite the 9 points on the scoreboard. So your mom with a 150-point lead right now, 30 minutes of play remaining. So we're going to be looking to analyze these individual matchups and great performances by individuals on both teams as we move forward here. So they've taken us back down to the track.
I just saw the head ref signal that we're going to get back into the action here.
Oh, goody. I love the action. Let's get back into it. We'll have Twinkle Toes on the line for your mom.
And Culture Shock, number 3 for Deep Valley. Twinkle Toes quickly finding his way through the pack, but a forearm call, making this a power jam for Deep Valley and Culture Shock. So can Culture Shock break that pack?
Oh, and he does. No, cut track, push to the inside. I guess his foot barely touched that inside line. Oh, over there in turn 2. Tough break for Deep Valley, picking up a power jam and then losing it. Twinkle Toes on the track, very dangerous to have him. This guy can pick up a mess of points in a hurry, seemingly makes it look easy, weaving by the Deep Valley blockers. Your mom penetrating the pack once again.
Deep Valley, though, stretching out that pack as far as they could. Good job working to slow up the jammer as much as they can if they can't take him out.
And Culture Shock is out of the penalty box and back on the track, having to just sit there for the same amount of time that Twinkle Toes did. But Twinkle Toes is continuing to score another 5 for your mom.
Sugar Boots at the front of the pack there, taking out Culture Shock as he tries to clear the pack. Culture Shock gonna earn a cutting the track penalty there as he got right back up and went on, but he was in the infield.
Tough break, Twinkle Toes again, another 5. So your mom coming out strong, punching Deep Valley in the mouth to start this one off in the second half.
Twinkle Toes, a beautiful little fake out there. It came to a complete stop almost right behind the pack. Looked like he was going to move to the inside, just wrapped himself around the outfield as everybody took a look to the infield.
Yeah, what I like seeing is I'm looking down here at the blockers on the track for Deep Valley, and they're, communicating. They're yelling at each other, saying, okay, we missed that one. Let's reset. Let's try and do it again. They're continuing to try and figure out how to stop Twinkle Toes, and it is no easy task.
And that's going to bring that jam to an end. Some excellent work there by your mom and Twinkle Toes. When he got back on the track, just took it easy. He made his way through quickly, putting score on the board, and not letting those blockers phase him a whole lot from Deep Valley. I mean, would come up on the back of the wall and just juke around, fake him out, and easily make his way around.
And Culture Shock quite upset down there in the box, taking a couple of trips inside one jam. That's tough for anybody, but he's fired up emotionally. And meanwhile, Frank Not So Hatra making it look easy again. Lead jammer for your mom. And your mom bridging backwards. And we're stretched out halfway around the track now as Deep Valley bridges forward to try and contain Frank Not So Hatra.
Your mom was stretching backwards there. Culture Shock rejoining us on the track.
So Culture Shock caught up behind Seahorses Forever. Seahorses Forever so good at holding the blocker and then allowing one of his blockers to waterfall on them. Because here, I'll set him up, you take him down.
That's it. Unfortunately, that waterfall, though, for Nicholas Becker sends him to the penalty box.
Oh. Well, it doesn't always work out as planned, right?
It doesn't. But Culture Shock, Seahorses Forever, just knocking him right back out to the outfield, recycling him again. Frank, meanwhile, in the pack, just kind of taking his time, looking for a way through that wall without having to exert too much energy. He does. Another 5 points on the board for your mom.
I've mentioned it before, how relaxed he looks coming up on the pack, but this is something that jammers can really learn from, is to take their time and let the holes develop. Sometimes if you just attack that wall, you're going to come up against the wall and not have success with it. But he got moves left, right, a little bit, waits for something to develop, and then attacks in the hole. So that's really, really good lesson for a lot of young jammers out there, or experienced jammers for that matter.
Looks like we got number 28, Downer, up on the jam line. Number 4, Lily Pad, with 25:48 remaining on the clock. Your mom down one blocker in the box. So Deep Valley with a pack advantage here. Can it make the difference for him in this jam? We'll find out as we get things going.
Lily Pad and Downer tied up together, tied up a big, giant scrum here on the track. But Lily Pad finding an opening on the inside is your lead jammer for your mom once again.
Lily Pad just tearing up that track as he makes his way around for a scoring pass. Downer, meanwhile, at the front of the pack, trying to make his way through there, coming up against number 6, Sugar Boots. Sugar Boots trying to hold him back, and Beastang, the last line of defense, he makes his way out and now eligible to score.
Yeah, but Lily Pad, you can really see Lily Pad's speed skating. When he's heading around the track after he breaks through the pack and he hits those corners, he looks like an Olympic speed skater. It's just phenomenal to watch some of these guys for your mom with all this training that they've had, cross-sport training, but on wheels.
Absolutely. It looks like Deep Valley putting in another new jammer that we haven't seen up on the jam line. Number 13, Graves, going to face off against number 69, Twinkle Toes. Looks like a full pack. We're up to full strength. The penalty box is clear.
That's the way I like it. Even playing field here, so to speak. And blocker for your mom goes down backwards. Gets back up, though. This Cleveland Stever.
Graves having some trouble with that wall as Twinkle Toes finds his way through Deep Valley's wall and is now lead jammer.
That's another thing about your mom. They do these pushes to the outside, but it's just barely enough to get you to step. And that's great for forcing the cut track, is just a tiny step to the inside. Maybe the jammer didn't realize it, maybe, but then you're still in position. Your wall is still in position. You didn't overcommit to the outside, and they're just phenomenal at that. And right now, continuing to score on the track is your mom, but they will call off the jam. 197. Oh, let's make that. They've broken the 200 mark. 201 for your mom, 9 for Deep Valley. 23 and a half minutes remaining in the second half of play here in the first bout of 6 today.
That's it. Don't forget, if you have comments or questions, you can join us on Twitter. #TalkToMRDA.
And let all your friends know, post it here and there that this is being hosted by WFTDA.tv, and they should be watching.
Absolutely, yeah. You're missing some awesome action if you're not live or watching it on WFTDA.tv.
I love the live action. I would not miss this live, but right now we've got a lead jammer for your mom. That is the lily pad, again, making it look easy. So certainly, if I could not be here in the house, I would be watching this on WFTD.tv.
Absolutely. Lily pad quickly through the pack, puts 5 more on the board. Deep Valley losing a couple blockers during that last pass. So they're down to 1 blocker on the track. And that's number 44, Bad LSD. Tries to hold back Lily pad. Lily pad able to sneak around, put another 5 on the board.
Just too quick for him. Got the whole width of the track to get by. And again, Lily pad one-on-one with Bad LSD. And gets by him once again for another 5. Your mom now taken off on the scoreboard.
Lily pad again through with some Bad LSD trying to hold him back, but it doesn't happen. He makes a complete trip through the pack and puts another bunch of points on the board for your mom.
Well, and if indeed your mom does win this game, which it's starting to appear that way, Deep Valley Belligerents, they're going to take from this game some experience. You got to think they're going to go into the consolation round this evening and use some of this experience and put it into play. Again, they've had some great bouts this year against some tough teams, and I expect to see a lot of great things from this team down the road too.
Absolutely. It looks like a number 33, Sloppy Joe, jamming for Deep Valley, facing off against Frank Natsuhatra. Gets an early start in the pack. Looked like he was going to escape first there, but Frank Natsuhatra finds a way through first.
And again, Frank taking his time. Getting knocked around right now. Nice push to the outside.
Sloppy Joe makes his way through and now eligible to score. Frank knows he's out there, looks for him, ready to call off the jam when it's needed.
Wow, with the wall holding strong, he does not call off the jam. Looks like they're going to work on the time quotient, trust those blockers.
It looks like Frank may be more concerned with getting the penalty box cleared out here.
Yeah.
Going to go ahead and let some points go to Deep Valley. As Sloppy Joe makes his way through, puts 4 on the board. Frank is at the back of the pack there, but he knows he's got 2 blockers in the penalty box, so he's going to let some time expire there, I think.
Yeah, always a your mom strategy. They do this continually. If they have more than 1 person in the box, it seems like they're trying to kill some of that penalty box time. Another good lesson for some of the upcoming teams.
That's it, especially when you have this large of a lead. There's no real big concern right at the moment by your mom that they're going to need to have a ton more points so they can let the clock tick away, get some blockers back. But look, your mom continuing to lose blockers to the penalty box.
Oh. As
number 3, Peter Pan, headed off to the penalty box to fill up a seat there.
And Frank will continue to let this one run down with 20 seconds remaining in the jam. Deep Valley able to put up some points here, jumping from 9 to 21 so far in this jam, and potentially more, but right now getting shoved to the outside. With time winding down, he's got to recycle back.
That's right, Nicholas Becker there at the back of the pack holding up Sloppy Joe as that jam comes to an end. on that last pass, it looks like no points awarded to either jammer as that jam comes to an end. Looks like on Twitter we got a shout-out from Glenn Hurd, North Carolina. Shout-out to his boys B-Stang, Sloppy Joe, Alec Brawlin, and Jonas Downer.
Fantastic. Love those shout-outs. Feel free to jump right in and give us your information. Shout out to people.
You can do that at hashtag talk to MRDA.
So we'll have twinkle toes for your mom. Oh, but now a track cut for the aforementioned Twinkle Toes. He'll take a trip to the box.
That's right. That's number 76, Chemtrail, out there jamming for the first time for Deep Valley. Got a chance to get through there, take that lead, and get some more points on the board for Deep Valley. Let's see what he can do here. Takes the hit to the outfield and going to be recycled.
Not lead yet. Wow, looking to plows into Sugar Boots. Sugar Boots getting stretched out, twisting around. Good offense by Deep Valley.
Deep Valley taking the lead with the power jam. Now let's see if Chemtrail can put up some points. Comes into the pack, into the back of, it looked like Peter Pan there. The whole pack was squished there, so I'm not sure, but there was a back block that happened.
Back block major, spun around, kind of went butt on butt with one of your mom blockers and knocked him down. That'll do it.
That's it, still a back block.
Mm-hmm. So, now, was that his first trip out there to jam Chemtrail?
That was his first time jamming for Deep Valley today.
So Deep Valley sending out some other options at the jammer position here in the second half. Meanwhile, Twinkle Toes is back on the track, but forced to recycle way back after being shoved out in turn 2. Whoa, pops the Deep Valley blocker right in the chest, knocks him down, is able to spin around, stays in bound, is through on his initial pass.
That was a pretty amazing hit, just right into, in his legal target zone. A lot of people forget your chest is a legal target zone. Yeah, if you turn around, you can take a hit.
Yeah, and you could see that he knew that, and he said, all right, you're turned around, I'm going to blast you, and it worked. Oh, but now getting blasted on the track, Twinkle Toes taking a hit, getting up slow. So, maybe a little tit for tat back and forth here. Always some testosterone involved here with the men.
Yes, and that is true. You definitely see that happen a lot. That was actually Mr. Dick with that there, and he was sent off for a low block penalty, but the penalty box is currently full, so you're going to see him rejoin the pack, and he'll serve his penalty here in just a few.
One of the things I love about the men is they leave it on the track. They'll do those blasting blows. They expect to hit each other hard out there. It's on the track, and then they leave it. All right, so, lily pad getting knocked to the inside, forced to recycle. Meanwhile, the belligerents are stretching it out.
That's it. That's Downer out there, and Downer through the pack. You see the big smile on his face. He's been out there so much trying to fight through that wall. Takes lead during this jam. Let's see if he can put some points on the board.
In and about like this, you've got to enjoy those individual accomplishments. Picking up a lead jam on your mom, getting in, scoring some points. That's where it's at. And Downer going to call it off after hip spinning around Dirty Larry. Did he pick up some? Maybe not.
And I see no points awarded for your mom. It looks like the refs are conferring, and it looks like no points are going to be awarded for that pass. No hips passing during that pass.
Yeah, trying to spin by Dirty Larry. Dirty Larry saying, not quite, buddy. Dirty Larry, one of the great blockers. Oh, so on the track right now, your mom, lead jammer.
That's Peter Pan out there with the lead jammer for your mom. It's actually number 3 versus number 3. Culture Shock still out there trying to fight his way through the back. Goes to jump over and takes a fall in the landing there. Didn't quite stick it, so he's still trying to work his way through.
And Peter Pan, one of the mini blockers for your mom, as you'd mentioned before. Just everyone on the team, they kind of cycle them in at this point, get everybody some tournament experience jamming, and you got to love that, especially if you're your mom's skater.
Yeah,
getting to play both roles.
Your mom with a lot of triple threats out there on their.
Whoa! Blam! Oh, the Deep Valley blocker tries to take that apex jump and runs right into the shoulder of Nicholas Becker.
Actually, that was Beestang.
Oh, Beestang.
Yeah, Beestang with that delivery there to Culture Shock. It looked like that hurt, but it was a legal hit, so you gotta take it.
Man, boy, he is slow getting up on that one, too. That is tough going, running into a blocker that big.
And that fast. I mean, there was some speed behind that hit, but he's up and he's rolling, which is impressive.
He is rolling, but he has had some, you could tell he's had the wind knocked out of him.
He's definitely hurt, and I see a star pass in operation there, but it looks like the referees are going to call an illegal procedure. And that's going to make this a power jam for Peter Pan, who's just continuing to rack up the points as we're talking about what's going on here with that hit.
Yeah, definitely. Your mom threatening to score 300 in this one right now. Meanwhile, Peter Pan knocked to the inside, knocked to the outside, able to come back in.
Pack basically staying right there in the apex of turn number 3 and 4.
And good defense. Deep Valley cycling Peter Pan way back to the back. And some flashes of excellence here. You know, we're seeing some good stuff for Deep Valley. We're seeing some great individual effort plays on the track, good blocks, good jams. So you got to look at those things if you're Deep Valley and build on those strengths.
Absolutely. If you're wondering about that star pass, what happened was you could obviously see he was hurting from that hit. He had stepped out of bounds when the star pass happened, so that's where the penalty came from. If you're wondering why there was a penalty, because it looked like he was on the track when the star pass happened, but he was actually out of bounds when he initiated the star pass, and that's why the penalty was awarded there. So
right, might have had his bell rung a little bit there from that massive jump.
You could just see in his face. You could just see it. He was holding onto his helmet. He was considering, am I going to do the star pass or am I going to try to continue to jam here? He went to give it up. You can see him in the penalty box now. He's smiling. He appears to be fine. So that's good news. I mean,
these guys are tough.
He's got his stuff back for
They do this stuff in practice every day, so they're very tough.
That's it. So we got a team timeout for Deep Valley. They're taking their second timeout. You can tell by the little trapezoid that's flashing that this is the second timeout, so they'll have one left. So we'll share a little bit of sponsor love here.
The first, I gotta take care of
and
them.
Happy to fix the rest. Sin City Skates. You can visit them at sincityskates.com.
I love Sin City Skates. I bought a bunch of gear for my girl, who's a Kansas City roller warrior, as am I, by the way. And the service is great. They really take care of you there at Sin City Skates. So a big shout out to them from Raucous Ron and the whole Derby family here, MRDA.
Absolutely. And then they're definitely ingrained in the Derby world. So if you need something, they're definitely the people to go to help you out, because they've been doing this for as long as I can remember.
So a little conference of the zebras on the track, and we have an incredible crew of refs and NSOs here, and you gotta love those people, those volunteers in Derby. You know, everyone out here, the track crew, you know, refs, NSOs, announcers, none of us are getting paid. This is a situation where we're here to volunteer for a sport that we love. And you put your heart into it. You show up early in the morning for 7:30 meetings, thanks a lot, Hammer. And then, you do it, but it all pays off. The family, the Derby family, is a great family to be a part of. And so, again, big thanks to all the volunteers that are taking part in this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it does take a family to run a Derby from the background, especially when you've got house call, broadcast call, and you've got a huge venue. You've got all kind of sponsors that need to know where they're going. You've got all kind of teams here that need to know where they're going. You've got fans that need to know where they're going. So you've got to have you got to have a huge staff for any bout, but for a tournament especially, it's a gigantic family of people.
Yeah, and you've got people coming in from all over the country. Of course, at this tournament, we've got the, your mom, who you're seeing, and Deep Valley, but also the St. Louis Gatekeepers, New York Shock Exchange, Magic City Misfits, Mass Maelstrom, Bridgetown Menace out of Portland, Puget Sound Outcast. Just incredible. Bring all these teams together from across the country, and that takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of effort, and it's a great thing when you see it all come together in a weekend like this. And it's
absolutely. I'm going to give an update. It looks like what we had happen here was a team timeout called by Deep Valley. It has now turned into an official review for Deep Valley. As soon as we know more information about what their challenge is here, we'll let you know. Yeah, I'm looking at the herd of zebras over there. A herd of zebras is actually called a
They're
zeal
moving.
or a dazzle. So that was a dazzle of zebras happening.
Dazzle of zebras.
It looks like that dazzle is still, I mean, they moved, but they're still all stuck together like glue.
Well, that's what zebras do. You know, they're dazzling and they move, right? But no dancing, I've heard, you know, so that wouldn't work for me. I could never be a zebra because you couldn't stop me from dancing. I'm up here in the stream call and I'm still dancing. Just great to be calling with you, Smash. This is we've called together once before, and that was so much fun out in Colorado, and really enjoyed that. So this is good fun, even this early in the morning.
Absolutely, yeah. I can honestly say I wasn't looking forward to getting up at 6 a.m., which actually equates to 5 a.m. my time this morning.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? I'm wide awake now. I've got pumped full of vitamin C and coffee. And I am ready for a full day of roller derby. And I'm glad we got to start the call together with all this energy going on here.
Yeah,
and a great game to start it with too.
Yeah, and again, always fun to watch your mom. You know, despite the score, you see some incredible stuff.
Yeah, there have been some incredible blocks. There have been some incredible jumps. There's been some incredible work done by Deep Valley during this bout, too. I mean, you saw them come in there early on, and as you were progressing through, you kind of see them taking a lesson from each jam and applying it to the next jam. And that's really what you know, when you come in as a seed 8, that's really what you hope to accomplish, is do better than you expected to do when you came in.
You know what, and I really see these championships as an educational experience for everyone, not just the players, but also the fans. You know, if you're watching at home on WFTDA.tv, you know, I would encourage all of your team to watch, because you learn by watching. You see these efforts, you see the juke moves going on by your mom, and it's a learning experience. Speaking of which, right now, back on the floor, one of the greats, Frank Not-So-Hatra, pushing that 4-wall, teaching you how it's done. That's how you stretch it out. This is how you juke. You know, one of the many ways, of course, but it is a very effective, once again, lead jammer for your mom, Frank Not-So-Hatra.
That's it. You see the pack at a standstill there. Your mom going to control this pack, keep it nice and slow or at a stop. Deep Valley blockers, though, ready for Frank Not-So-Hatra when he comes back in. So doing a good job slowing him up. Doesn't look like they're able to take him, you know, keep him back, but they're able to slow him down for sure.
And he gets him to move one step at a time. A little twist move around him, they step one step forward, he's got to move forward, and he does this over and over and over again until the hole opens up. It's excellent the way he positionally moves that pack, just like that, in and moves them forward. Here, take another step forward. I got you.
Absolutely.
Bam. Yeah.
And Culture Shock now rejoining us on the track. That's why you saw the Your Mom blockers kind of stretch back there. Now look at that solid wall. Your Mom quickly able to reform and rethink their strategy as things change on the track. That's a very important key to playing good roller derby. Frank Not-So-Hatra again through the pack at real easy, another 5 points on the board.
Yeah, and you can see that your mom is out there on the track trying to relax, play their game, stay out of the penalty box right now. That's been a problem for him, so definitely something to work on. You know, even in a game where you're going to, you know, potentially win by 300 points, you still want to, you know, focus on those fine points like penalties.
Play that clean game, and we're seeing less movement to the penalty box by your mom. As I say that, I see a your mom blocker going to the penalty box, but
I'm sorry, Dirty Larry, I jinxed you.
Yeah, less penalty box movement this time by your mom.
Oh, boom, big hit out there, knocking down the jammer. That was B-Stang.
That's it. B-Stang, I think B-Stang does not like Culture Shock. He continues to deliver those gigantic hits to Culture Shock.
Got his number. Having a little Culture Shock with B-Stang.
That's it. After that last big hit, it looked like Culture Shock takes that hit from B-Stang and says, I think I'm going to hang back here until this jam ends. I can kind of understand that.
Yeah, he seems to be a little shaken up again. So a little bit of a rough outing here. But you know, you're going to... Anytime you're taking on your mom, it's going to be tough.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, don't take on your mom unless you're ready to take the hits. Number 28, Downer, back out there. He's going to face off against number 69, Twinkle Toes, who's doing some fancy footwork out there.
He can definitely move a pack, but right now the pack grinding back together, gets sucked back in.
That's it, number 44, taking him out to the outside. That's Bad LSD. And recycling him all the way back behind the entire wall. So Twinkle Toe's going to have to fight again. Downer, meanwhile, almost makes his way out, takes a hit from Peter Pan, and gets recycled all the way back.
So pretty good defense there for a while, able to hold back Twinkle Toes. So not giving up. You know, Deep Valley Belligerents out here playing hard all the way down. We got 10 minutes remaining in this one.
Downer still stuck in that pack, looking for a way through as Twinkle Toes comes back in with an apex jump, puts another 5 on the board for your mom.
Little micro hop there in turn 3. Only do what you need to. That's another one of those things that your mom shows, is that just work as hard as you need to. Don't push things. You know, no need to go crazy. Just all it is that one step out of bounds or that one step over the out of bounds mark, you know, depending if you're offense or defense. So Twinkle Toes back in there looking for an opening. Seahorses with the block out front, freeing him. Another 5 points for your mom.
That's it. And this is actually going to, looks like number 13 Graves now with the star on his head. So there was a star pass at some point there. I didn't see where it happened, but that's definitely a different jammer than we had before.
I think it happened while we were kind of focused on Twinkle Toes in there, weaving in the pack. But, you know, the blockers for Deep Valley getting worn down a little bit. A lot of big hits from your mom. A lot of body blows. You know, like in boxing, you get those body blows. It kind of wears you down. And we're, you know, getting late in this match. And your mom definitely taking it to Deep Valley.
Absolutely. And as that jam comes to an end there, Twinkle Toes through puts another 3 points on the board. And just prior to that, cutting the track penalty going to Graves, number 13 for Deep Valley. So next jam is going to start off as a power jam for your mom. Out there, want to say hello to Evil Ed, who says, thanks for the great announcing. Excited to watch all weekend from NC, I'm going to believe is North Carolina.
Wow.
I don't know of any cities that start with NC. So North Carolina, out there watching.
Thank you, Evil Ed. That's
Evil
great.
Ed.
Yeah.
You're going to hear lots and lots of us.
Yeah, not a big announcing crew here, so we're going to share this mic quite a bit over the weekend with ourselves.
Now, interesting there, that's number 39, Cleveland Stever, jamming for your mom. We haven't seen him up to jam yet today. So I think your mom just taking the chance to give their jammer rotation a little bit of a break. Cleveland Steamer out there showing he knows what he's doing, though. Stretching out that pack and...
almost through the front there, but recycled, looking to come all the way back in the back of the pack. A good experience for him to be out here jamming at the MRDA World Championships. You know, that's something you can put on your resume.
Absolutely.
You know.
And it looks like he's going to make his way finally all the way through there. Puts all 5 points on the board. Graves standing up in the penalty box. He's going to go ahead and call off the jam. So even jamming for the first time, I don't know if he normally jams for your mom, but still has good jammer awareness. He looked to the box, saw the other jammer stand up, and going to go ahead and call off that jam.
Yeah, not typically out there on the jammer line for sure. So kind of mixing it up, spreading it around on the track is your mom. You know, your mom wants to be fair. My mom is.
You could go so many places with that, but I'm just going to tell you that it's number 4 Lily Pad up on the jam line with 6 minutes 56 seconds left.
Hey, my mind is clean. All right, I was thinking about my mom. All right, Lily Pad.
Lily Pad through, taking lead jammer quickly. I mean, this guy has some great moves out there on the track.
And you gotta love the way he takes these hits, but then he pops off of them. He jumps off the hits. You'll see the guys hit him to the outside, and he'll jump back in, and again, weaving and bobbing his way through. Jumping from lily pad to lily pad is lily pad.
And that's it, too. I wouldn't necessarily call what he does out there on the track juking, because, I mean, he takes full leaps around blockers to fake him out. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Right.
I mean, it's like both skates off the ground jumping.
Well, he gets them to commit one way. And they're pushing on him, and then he releases the hit and goes the other way really fast.
Absolutely.
You know, another great lesson for upcoming jammers is let the block go, release it. You know, step off of it. You know, you don't have to continue to be pushed out of bounds. You can let go of the block and then jump the other direction. So Lily Pad, just fantastic at doing that, true to his froggy-like name.
That's it. And we haven't seen this matchup for a while, but it's number 69 and number 69, Twinkle Toes and Mr. Dick out there on the track. Both jammers tangled up in the pack right now. Mr. Dick currently at the front trying to make his way around Sugar Boots.
Oh, Mr. Dick almost through the front, but knocked out of bounds. But, there he goes, weaving and bobbing his way through. Mr. Dick has had some success here. He's looked really tenacious on the track. This guy has got a strong future in the MRDA.
Absolutely. Twinkle Toes, meanwhile, getting a cutting the track penalty. That's going to make this a power jam for Deep Valley and Mr. Dick. Let's see what Mr. Dick does with it.
Mr. Dick came up on the back of the pack there, and Sugar Boots giving him just the right amount of bump to knock him out of bounds and force him to cycle, so slowing that power jam down a little bit. And Sugar Boots spinning from the back of the pack to the front of the pack. Great movement, through the pack for your mom always. You got to love the way they cycle those blockers forwards and backwards.
Mr. Dick making his way through the Your Mom wall there, quickly puts 5 points on the board for Deep Valley. Now he's back in up against that wall of Your Mom, looking for another 5.
Oh, now getting some offensive blocking help from the outside, trying to open up the hole, but Sugar Boots and Dirty Larry once again pushing him out of bounds. And no pass, no penalty. Dirty Larry moved back, but Mr. Dick not having to go back behind him, and there he goes.
That's it. Did you see Sugar Boots roll over Mr. Dick there?
Yeah, phenomenal. I've seen him do it before, and it's whoa. He's the only person I've ever seen do that roll over the other person move.
Some beautiful hits happening from Your Mom out there, but Mr. Dick not going to take it from Your Mom. Going to go ahead and call off that jam.
Great stuff, and the crowd is behind Deep Valley here. You got to love the way the Derby crowd supports the underdog and cheers for him.
That's it. You can hear there are a ton of people here for this early in the morning. I am surprised if you look out there at the stands. I don't know if the camera angle can show you, but there are a ton of people up on the site. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see there are a good number of people here for as early as it is this morning. We do have a shout out too from somebody watching out there. Jailbait Nomo 18 plus. A shout out to all the zebras today, sending all my love and the best of officiating to them.
And back on the line, we've got Sloppy Joe. Is this his first time jamming, I do believe, right?
I believe this is actually his second time.
Okay.
First time this half, I believe, though.
So, that'll be the Rodster taking a trip to the box for Your Mom.
Now, his first time jamming comes out going to earn a cut. Cutting the track penalty. So, again, Deep Valley with an opportunity here to put some more points on the board and make a better showing. Sloppy Joe quickly through and takes lead. I just noticed that it's both 33s out on the track currently for jammers, because that 33 is the Rodster for Your Mom, and 33 is Sloppy Joe.
It didn't look pretty. It might have been a little sloppy, but through the pack, picking up points. That's a great way to, as we're winding down here for Deep Valley, to build some confidence for later in the tournament, is to continue to score points, continue to fight, continue to score against Your Mom, and bring that score a little bit closer if they can. Right now, he is pushed out of bounds and forced to recycle back. You can see that Deep Valley's got a wall in the back, kind of set up so that Your Mom can't bridge too far backwards. And again, Sloppy Joe engaging that front. That's so difficult, and we'll see a repeat of the action I just announced. So
Your Mom really able to control that jammer at the front of the pack, taking it to the outside and recycling. And
the Rodster is out of the box, but this will be his initial pass. And 20 seconds left.
The Rodster with some beautiful work there, a hop, spin, and a jump, stays inbounds, now eligible to score as he comes up on the back of the pack. We're going to get a call off from Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe putting all 5 on the board during that last pass. Looks like we're down to 1 minute, 30 seconds on the clock. We're going to line him back up. Number 4, Lily Pad, putting the star on his helmet this time.
So time is winding down here. I think we can probably say that Your Mom has taken this one.
Oh, we're going into an official timeout.
Well, you want to make sure you get it right when it's this close, right?
Absolutely.
Just always. It's always got to be right. These zebras, it's got to the number crunching.
It looks like actually the ogre just called number 7 Seahorses Forever to the penalty box for an illegal procedure. So that's why we're going into the official timeout. They were just making sure that the people who are supposed to be in the penalty box are in the penalty box. And I saw that they switched up the star for Your Mom out there. It's actually going to be Beastang up on the jam line for Your Mom if they keep it this way before we get started here.
Yeah, I was talking to Beastang during the half, and I said, wow, you're really plowing in there and using your shoulder a lot. And he said, well, I'm such a juker that I'm trying to focus more on that. And I didn't realize that his strength was juking. So I've always thought of him as a blasting, intense blocking and hitting kind of guy, but apparently, well, yeah, he can do both, as you'd mentioned.
Absolutely, and so much of your mom can do all of the positions in roller derby without too much of a struggle.
Yeah, I would recommend to you, if you have anything to do with a league, that you encourage all of the team members to watch this action. Again, a great learning experience. You can tune into it and get everyone else to at WFTDA.tv. Excellent action going to be happening all day long.
That's right, and that's going to bring us to an end of that official timeout. We heard the game on whistle. I see Mr. Dick is going to be jamming for Deep Valley.
So Beastang and Mr. Dick both grinding against the back walls as the clock winds down here in this one. Mr. Dick, finding an opening in your mom's defense. Mr. Dick is through, and he is your lead jammer.
That's the crowd with a loud roar there. I think the crowd supporting the underdog here. Beastang, though, still struggling to get through that wall.
Yeah. Oh, good defense. Good defense. Way to end that. As we wind it down here. In period 2.
Mr. Dick quickly through, puts 5 on the board. Beastang finds his way out finally. Not going to be lead, but now eligible to score. So Mr. Dick's going to have to be aware of his position as he comes back into the pack. Mr. Dick through again puts some more points on the board. Jam's going to come to an end.
And more good defense. Oh, we have a player down on the track here for the Deep Valley Belligerents.
That's a good time to thank the EMTs that are out on the track.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely couldn't have a roller derby game without it. Injuries happen in sports. That's why we wear the pads and the helmets and stuff. And the EMTs, we're glad they're here to make sure that the skaters, if an injury should happen, are well taken care of. Yeah,
our volunteers are incredible. And, back home, it takes the whole team, as we've mentioned. And our paramedics and EMTs, certainly a big part of that. He is standing up, though, which we love to see. Surprisingly few big injuries in roller derby. I mean, it happens. There are some things that happen. It happens in every sport. But, I think there's less than you'd think for all these big bodies colliding and crashing on the track. And, that's our first or second guy down in this game, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was Josh Darn, number 619. I saw him return to the bench, so we may see him again. With 24 seconds left on the clock, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But it's good to know that he's going to, it wasn't an injury that's going to take him out of the tournament. So. Timeout being called right at the 5-second warning. Timeout being taken. I believe that was Deep Valley going to take this timeout.
Well, this is a great opportunity to tell you about the action that's coming up later in the day. We have you have to watch this. The Gatekeepers versus Puget Sound. That is bout 2 of the day. That'll be at 10:30. Of course, bout 3, 12:30, Portland versus New York. I expect a good matchup there. Looks good on paper. And bout 4, 2:30, that is Magic City versus Maelstrom.
Now, just so everybody at home knows, that is all Central Time.
Oh,
so add an hour if you're East Coast, subtract an hour if you're Mountain, and subtract 2 if you're Pacific.
Right. Very good. It must have started pretty early out there in Pacific this morning.
I'm wondering, is anybody in the Pacific time zone watching at this time? You know what? You can tell us by going to Twitter and commenting and putting hashtag #TalkToMRDA. Let us know that you're out there with your watch parties in the Pacific time zone.
Good point. So Twinkle Toes, cycle jammer on jammer there, cycling downer back, and he blasts through for lead jammer on this, what is sure to be the final jam of this exciting bout.
That's it as the time ticks down. Twinkle Toes glancing at the scoreboard to see the time. He's just waiting for it to expire, looks like. So he's not going to expend a whole lot of energy as he comes back in the pack, because they are going to have some more games coming up to play later on.
Continuing to take some shots there with the Second period clock at zeros.
Downer does clear the pack at the front there, makes his way around Peter Pan, now eligible to score. Looks like Twinkle Toe is going to go ahead and call off the jam after putting the 4 more on the board for Your Mom.
And that'll do it for our first bout of the day on the track. It was Your Mom from Des Moines, Iowa. Deep Valley. Belligerents, of course, from Ukiah, California.
Ukiah, California.
Yeah,
Ukiah.
Thank you.
And I was just thinking about that. There are probably people in the Pacific time zone watching us because Ukiah is where Deep Valley is from.
Of course. Got up early to support their team.
Absolutely. So you could see Your Mom already taking the victory lap there. We're waiting for the official final, but it looks like the score is going to be 330-51 with Your Mom taking the first game of the day. Still got 5 games to go. I mean, lots and lots of Derby action going to be coming your way over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, for Your Mom, you got to like how relaxed they seemed out there. A little bit of foul trouble. They seemed to clean that up a little bit as the game wore on, but they all of them seem very focused on just execution and getting through this first round against the 8th seed. For Deep Valley, I would say they fought hard. I would say that there's a lot of good things looking down the road in this tournament. I expect to see some good things from them against some other seeds in the tournament.
Absolutely, so. This is their first time coming to champs. Great show by them for their first game, coming in seed 8. Having to face off against the seed 1 is never fun, but definitely making some good headway and taking those opportunities to learn from this game.
Yeah, a tough position to be in, but all due respect to them, and very, very exciting down here on the track. We've got the gatekeepers in Puget Sound warming up, so definitely stay tuned to all the action on WFTDA.tv, and stepping up here to announce the next one, we got Hammer, and that should be a great bout. So I'm Raucous Ron, and I've had a great time early this morning,
I'm Bangers and Smash. We'll see you later on today. I'm sure you'll be hearing plenty of us all this weekend. Stay tuned to WFTDA.tv. We'll be back shortly.